Alexandra, you there?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, man. Let me. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm. Uh, I'm staying dry, man. Where you at?
Uh, Georgia. I mean Georgia,
Georgia. What part
north,
of Georgia?
very north, border with
Okay.
North Carolina.
How's the weather there today?
Oh, amazing. It's actually not too hot, not too cold. It was pretty good for Georgia,
Okay.
but
I don't think we've talked before, have we?
no, I've been commenting a couple
Okay.
times on lives and stuff like that, but no, it's
Awesome.
the first time, yeah.
Okay. So, what can I help you out with today?
Uh, First and foremost, I want to say thank you for everything you guys doing for the community. You're killing those gurus. Thank you for that.
Dude,
Uh,
we just, I like. Don't you think, Lo, that like the world's changed in how you consume information? Though it's like it's insanity that we're talking like this. Like a click a button, you're sitting in your place, I'm sitting in mine, and I'm just telling you, there's so much information out there. And here's the crazy part. A lot of you guys think the paid information's like you're safe. It's actually probably the most dangerous information you can get out there.
right.
And I just tell people like in the old days, like you better start vetting the people that you're paying to do this. I'm simple, I'm humble. I've been doing this a long time. I'm dude, the way you see me now, I ain't changing, dude. I've done this a long time. I do well, but I can do a lot better. And like where I'm striving to get, I'm trying to bring you guys up behind me.
Right.
And I focus on big fat deals. Zach runs the wholesale operation. So I love it. And I like one of my favorite things to do is go on an appointment and talk to sellers. Zach goes, I don't
Right.
know what's wrong with you. I go, I just enjoy it. It's like a challenge. It's not even about the money for me anymore. If I can help people out and help my family out at the same time, it's a huge win. Like we did 4 deals this week. I
Wow.
don't sit here and go, oh, I do 15. Who gives a crap how many deals you do a month? If you do one deal and you make 100 grand, you're a rock star. Like, I don't care. Like, it's this, we got to stop bragging about like, I do X amount of, when someone tells you they do 15 deals, it's like the standard number now.
Right.
So what if you made 2 grand a deal? Like, I'm not impressed. That's crazy. So I just want to get the truth out there, get the information out. And I'm just transparent. So what can I help you out with today, man?
So I'm uh I'm working with a friend, a partner, a friend. He's my friend, and in Florida. So the
Okay.
central side of it, I would say, mostly close to uh, Orlando. And my
Not
question
too
was,
far from me.
right, yeah.
Okay. What's up?
So if I'm the the seller signing a contract, do I add my friend's name on a contract, or we're making a different JV contract? How does that work?
Okay, so what's your arrangement with this friend? Like, are you guys partnering up on stuff, or is he handling one side of the business for you?
So mostly he's my hands and feet there, basically.
Okay, so he's your boots on the ground type of deal.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so does he go on physical appointments?
Well, we just started,
Okay,
and he's gonna go to get the what do you call them uh violations. He's gonna go. He called them, and he didn't let him have it, of course,
of
as usual.
course.
Yeah, and
Okay,
he's gonna go over there in person. Yeah, for now. So
okay.
that's the
So kind of redefine your question so I can help you out and everybody understands if they have a question too online.
right. So whenever we're gonna split everything because
Okay,
we're gonna be partners, and it's not just like
okay.
I'm paying him like a fee
I
of
got it.
or
I got it.
right.
50-50 partners, right?
Right. So basically, kind of JVing, but
Okay.
we just like we're friends, not just make a contract with someone I don't know. I know him personally. So how would I go about it? How does that work?
Okay. So, number one is, I mean, do you trust this person?
Yeah, I've known him
Okay.
like 3 years now.
Okay. Are you guys committed to doing wholesaling?
Yeah,
Okay.
I say more me than him, but yeah.
Here's my recommendation. So when you first started wholesaling, you don't have to overcomplicate like legal structure stuff like that.
Hmm.
If he got a deal tonight,
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
and the seller goes, I'm ready to go. Like everything hit all the boxes, like, holy moly, this is a great deal. What would you do? He's standing right there. He's like, dude, Alexander, I got this guy. He's all in. The house is run down. He's moved out. It's like he says, if we don't do a deal, then he's going to call someone else. How are
I
you
was
going to write
just
that contract?
the the way it is, like on my name, because I
Okay.
fill it up. Yeah.
So, guys, I want you to understand, as long as you have an assignable contract, you can fix that.
Okay.
Okay. So I've had people tell me on this is like, I went to the appointment, everything was right. I didn't have an LLC set up. So I waited till Tuesday to meet with my lawyer accountant. And it
Mhm.
was like a week went by and the guy sold the property to somebody else. So don't ever let the deal structure of a wholesaling thing stop you from getting started in wholesaling. It's actually a procrastination tool. It doesn't work. As
Right.
long as you have an assignable contract, guys, you can open up an LLC up till the day you close. And keep in mind, if you're doing an assignment of contract, in theory, not intent, in theory, you're not actually technically going to own the property. Now, you do have liability for putting your name on the contract, and you got to know that going into it. Okay. Here's the good news is you can open up an LLC anywhere you want. I kind of recommend doing it in the state where you do most of the business because it's a little bit more transparent. But an LLC typically costs you between 100 and 150 bucks to set up.
Right.
Okay. If I were going to do that, you just basically have a general LLC and you would own 50% of the shares. He would own 50% of the shares. You call it a company. You get an articles of incorporation, which all the kits are done for you, and you open up a bank account. That's it. So, and then what happens if the LLC made $200,000, you would get $100,000. He gets 100,000. It washes through your personal taxes, and based on your taxable bracket, that's how you guys get taxed on it.
Okay.
Okay, and you got to file some other forms with it. I'm not an accountant here to teach you. That's really the best way to do it if you can do it with a partner. But I'm here to tell you guys, on like partnerships, I'm just going to give you the skinny. The easiest way to get rid of your friend is become a partner with him. And I'm being brutally honest. Like, it's tough. So
Right.
is he married?
No. No.
Are you married?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a lot of factors that come into it, and like people don't understand that. Like, wives have say in this stuff.
Hmm.
Ask me how I know. I'm married 25 years. It's just, you got to know who you're going in. I
Right.
always recommend in the beginning, if it sounds like you have a little bit better relationship with him, for someone you don't know, say someone you met in the comments here, and you guys do this all the time. First of all,
Hmm.
I don't underwrite anybody in these comments. I don't know. I believe people have the best intention. Is you could do a JV deal with someone and make sure the trust is earned before you go like get in the bed with them, so to speak. Okay.
Right. Yes.
I think you're a little bit further than that. You can make that
Yeah.
decision. It's so the biggest thing people miss in their LLCs is there's a section in there on if you want to dissolve it. Say you get in like a bitter dispute, or he has to file bankruptcy and it screws up the business type of deal. There has to be a clear cut exit plan. Like
Hmm.
sometimes, because then you own properties and stuff like that. But my recommendation, both of you, if you're going to do it for the long run, sit down with a lawyer and make sure you clearly. It's not as expensive as you think. Usually 500-600 bucks, you get the whole thing done, and then you treat it like a business as opposed to, because friends, like I got some good friends, but I'd never go into business with some of them. And like I have gone into business friends, and for full disclosure, I've lost friendships over it.
Right.
I didn't realize they had this issue, and like, oh no, we're friends. It's good. Like, no, you just can't take money out of a bank account. Like so if you're going to do it, especially with the bank account, make sure you have checks and balances in place, 2 check signing. And usually one person's in control of the finances. Just make sure the person is the responsible party. But like, don't let it stop you, guys. It's 150 bucks to set up an LLC. Most people don't set them up right, but like I've seen these services where gurus are pitching $1,000 to set up an LLC. Like you could go hire a private lawyer and have them do the whole thing for you for half the cost.
Okay.
So, and all they do is help you spell out like what happens if Johnny says he quits. Well, then Johnny gets nothing. So like in the first 5 years, I'd say if you quit, you get nothing. Like
Hmm.
that's it. Whatever's in the account, that's it. And we just call it a day. So that's the biggest challenge you have with people is like, no, it's never going to happen because we're really good friends. We can't make that. It's not going to happen. And it does happen. So it's, he's your friend. So have you had a deep conversation with him about the business structure?
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
I
yet.
suggest you do. And I would dive into every worst case scenario because I'm telling you, dude, I've avoided it and it comes up and it gets real. Like I've spent time in court. I just spent almost $50,000 breaking up from a business partner of an LLC. 50 grand. We were chugging along. We were doing really, really well. And I just learned he just didn't want to do the business, and I was doing all the work. And he's like, hey, why not? I just a gravy train. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I dissolved the business. And he sued me, and I won, but I didn't really know him. And that wasn't, and then I've been in business with friends where businesses didn't work out. So just guys, just be careful when you do friends with business, because it's you got to run it like a business first. So I just went through this today on like another real estate deal. So the really beauty of real estate is you can go deal the deal, and if people don't honor their agreement, you can just call it a day and move on.
Right.
And that's how I start out with people like, I'm not sure about you. Let's do this deal. If we're happy at the end, maybe we'll renew another deal. And then I've had people, I do one deal. I'm like, maybe dude, lose my number. I don't want to ever work with you again. That's crazy. So, but that, I think you got the right structure. Anything else?
Yeah, I had written down real quick. So when you talk Wednesday, I believe, about the filling out of contracts, right?
Yeah. So I went into details on that. You got any questions on that, or?
Yeah, you said that you don't ever pay liens on a house and on mortgages and this stuff, right? So in order to be able to purchase a house, doesn't the lien have to be closed first?
So typically how all house sales go is, so say I say, okay, Alexandra, I'm buying your house for 100,000. They're like, okay, 100,000. If that's it, we put in a contract together, we give it a title company, whatever liens are on that house comes out of your end. It doesn't come out of mine. And worst case scenario, say you owe $130,000 in liens and I have a contract for 100 grand. Guess we can't close on that transaction. And I'm off the hook because you have to deliver me clear title. So without it, it doesn't work that way. Now, some sellers just aren't, they're not honest with you up front. Where most wholesalers get in trouble is when someone goes, I need a net number. I need a net 50,000 at the end. Be very, very cautious because you have no idea what the end number is going to be because you haven't seen the title work.
Right.
So I tell you what, Mr. Seller, tell me what you owe against the house and we'll do some basic math here. And if that works out, then we'll see what the number is. But I can only promise you this offer price, maybe less the closing cost, but the liens and the mortgage, I didn't sign this stuff up and I can't be on the hook for it. And you got to let them know that because I had multiple people I've been working on with JVs and they go, he told me he wanted a net number. Dude, net numbers are like a dream 9 times out of 10. Now, every now and then they are right, but you got to make sure you have all the information before you offer a net. Like the day you close affects the net. Where the property tax is paid. I don't know. What about like escrow monies and stuff like that? And it gets really complicated quick. And so if I have a guy who goes, listen, I just want to walk with 20 grand in my pocket, I have to go do so if I write a contract for 100 grand and he's got 80 grand in liens, I can make it work. What if the liens are like 92,000? How am I going to unwind that contract with them? And so when they say net, a lot of times you got to take a step back and go, okay, listen, share the data you have with me. And then I'll even write in the addendum section, if I can verify that your liens do not exceed this dollar amount, then maybe you can do it. But like in the beginning, as a new wholesaler, you do not want to get in that trap because they will nail you to the wall on it. Like they will not close unless you give them that number. And then all of a sudden you're working for free because you'll have to give away your assignment fee to make up the difference. So the only thing you got to remember in the beginning is stay away from net numbers because they're bad. They never, ever, I just had a deal on a high-end deal and the guy's like, I need a net 300. I go, I don't even know what you owe. And so I went through it and then he got down. He owed he had a $5,600 tax bill. He goes, I have to net that number. I go, your taxes are not my problem. I'm not paying your taxes. You didn't pay them. I wasn't getting that great of a deal. I was buying it for something else. And so whenever I hear net number, I'm like, now every now and then there are people I just need to walk away with 20 and sometimes there's 80 grand in there. I don't take advantage of those people. I try to help them out. And you have to do that because some people are, by the way, I've been set up. I've had people sit there and see how bad you're going to abuse the situation. I've had people go, here, just take my house. I go, I'm not doing that. So somebody sent me a lead on here. I think they private messaged me because the guy just wants to give me his house. I'm like, run. Like nobody just it
Give you
does
help.
happen, but it doesn't happen to like brand new people in the business. I'm just like,
Right.
you're missing something. You need to dig deeper. He won't give me any more information. I go, well, is that someone you
Well,
really want to buy a house from? So, um, you got it. Like the only problem you're ever going to have is net numbers. So filling out the contract. So guys, the only thing that's negotiable really on the contracts past the price when you're doing wholesaling is the closing fees, right?
mhm.
Okay. So here's a trick. It's not a trick. It's just how you do wholesaling. If I have a seller that's giving me a really good number and they're like making my life easy, I tell them I'm just going to go ahead and take care of the closing costs. Alexander, does it make a difference if I offer that or not in the end? It does to the seller, but like if you do an assignment of contract, who pays the closing cost?
The buyer.
So if you can use it as a selling feature to get someone to
Right.
sign your contract, do it. But make sure you disclose it. Now, when I have a deal that's a little bit tighter, buyers are smart. They're not as stupid as you all think they are. If you could say, listen, I'm going to save you $5,000 in closing fees. I got them to pay their entire side. You just pay your side. They're like, okay, I know I can get maybe $2,000 or $3,000 more in my assignment fee. So the only one that's ever really in play past the price to me is the closing fees. And if they're like, listen, Rick, I'll give it to you. You got to pay the closing cost. If it's a smoking deal, I shake their hand right there. If it's tight, I go,
Right.
you know what? At that number, I can't really include that. I apologize. And I hold tight to it because if you go too high of a number, you're not going to get a cash buyer and you're going to get squeezed out of your assignment fee. And if the number's too tight, you can't double close it because there's not enough money in it. Make sense? Okay. Anything else?
That'll be it, I would say, for now.
Okay.
Let everybody else, someone else who has a question.
Okay, bud. Okay.
I
I
appreciate it so
appreciate it.
much.
Have a good one, man.
Thank you.
I'll
You
see
too.
you later. Okay, guys, that makes sense. The closing fees, a lot of time, that's really, in my opinion, yeah, listen, I bought cars, I bought boats with it. Always focus on the real estate. If you focus on the trinkets in the house, like the couch and the Stairmaster, like I suddenly seeing Pelotons left in houses everywhere. That stuff is like worthless.